The Suicide Prevention Hotline is there for those people who feel like the weight of the world is just too much. Maybe you're being bullied, or maybe you're having a hard time coming out about your sexual orientation. Maybe, just maybe, you're having a more difficult time just adjusting to all the stresses of the world. If you are thinking of doing anything to yourself, if you're contemplating harming yourself or harming someone else or anything of that sort, you feel like the world is just too much and you don't know what to do, please reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Whether you know it or not, your life does matter to so many people. You have so much value to give to this world. The world is not a better place without you. Please reach out and get help. That number is 1-800-273-8255. Again, it's 1-800-273-8255. There's somebody there willing to listen to you. And if for some reason, any reason, I don't know what it may be, I don't know what it could possibly be, that you just don't feel comfortable contacting that number and you need someone to talk to, then feel free to reach out to me at any of my social media feeds and simply just put on there, I need to talk. I am more than willing to hear you. I am more than willing to go through this battle with you. And if you can find the courage to do that, then you can find the courage to do anything. What's going on, Prowl Nation? Welcome back to another Field Review Podcast show. It has been a while, and let me just tell you, that is not by design. That 9 to 5, make sure they get all their money out of you. I can tell you that right now. Let's just say that the word mandatory overtime is a real thing, and it's something that I personally despise at this moment. Now, don't get me wrong. I know everybody go, I don't want to turn down no money, but I prefer to spend time with family and friends and doing things I enjoy, not being forced to do things that I'm only doing probably because they paid me. Okay, let's be honest. But nonetheless, I'm here today. I'm late, way later than I usually am, but it's been a lot going on in the media and things that I want to talk about. And what can I say? This is the opportunity for it. So again, please bear with me. I am trying to navigate around this new schedule and understand what it is that I am. What's the word I want to use? That I'm trying to adjust to. Now I know that as time goes on, I'm probably going to have to adjust my schedule a little bit as my boys start to learn how to swim, and just different little things come about that's going to kind of have me move it. But when that time comes, I'll be more than open to tell you what those new hours are. I just had to do this. I said I'm not going another day without talking Lions football because that's what the people want. Now, let's see who's in the building with me today. I know it's a last-minute impromptu type thing, but I hope you here with me. We got John Bradshaw in the building, delusional Lions fan, Bulgaria's Ghost Gunner, Lionsley, the artist. I always liked his name. I thought that was dope. Buffed Up, Motor City Thanos, Dr. Detroit, Looney Tune, Kedrick, CJ. We got a few people coming in. To all the people who are in here, if you put your thing in the chat, I will announce you here. What up, though? Chris Watts is in the building. And let me make sure I get everybody in here. If you in here, man, like this chat up. Let me know you with me now. Steve O's in the building. What up, though? Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. I see Sports Gamers in the building. He said, I'm glad to see you. Yeah, 100%. I'm glad to hear from you and see you as well. They just been getting me, man. Every time I'm thinking I'm getting ready to go home, I'm getting told, not today. Oh, no. They giving me that Matumbo love. Every time I think I'm about to exit stage left, they want me to come into the building. Now, let's just talk about what's on the agenda for the day. What's going on, Marcus Willis? I see you. What up, though? Omar, what up? Let's talk about what's on the agenda today. We're going to talk about Pro Football Focus because you know what better thing for me to do than to talk about something I don't really respect. We're going to talk about the Lions receiving core. We're going to talk about the Lions practice coming up soon. And we're going to talk about the Lions season and a host of other things pertaining to the Lions as well as your questions. So I hope you are ready to enjoy a good show because I'm ready to give you one. Now, people, full disclaimer. The goal is, as it is always, is to not rant. I can't promise you none of that today. I can't. But I'm trying not to. That's the word I'm gonna use. I'm trying not to. Also, I have a few collaborations coming up. Let me see. I think I should have one tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I'm waiting on him to confirm. But if he do, this one is one you're not going to want to miss. I have one on Thursday with somebody that I have been getting a lot of messages about doing a show with. So that's another one. And then of all of those things right there, let me see. What am I forgetting? Make sure I ain't forgetting nothing else. Oh, I got one on Friday, but I think he has to pre-record that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm making sure I get it right, people. I'm making sure I get it right. I don't want nobody to feel left out or feel like they're not gonna get. Oh, look at my son today. He's just laughing. All right, so now let's get right into it. First things first, I want to start off with Pro Football Focus because I want to get the stupid out the way. Apparently, they did a top 50 players list, and not a single Detroit Lion made it. And I got a number of messages from people who was like, Luke, can you believe this? They didn't put not a single player on the from the Detroit Lions on their top 50. Not even Frank Ragnow. Not even Frank Ragnow made it. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, why are y'all shocked? Why do y'all care? What are y'all panicked about? I'm not even trying to be funny when I say these things. What exactly did you expect for them to put? Seriously. They got to double down on their prediction for the Lions to be trash, right? And if they come out and give any praise and do anything like that, it goes against their original assessment, right? But the truth is this. When have they made a list that anybody gave a damn about? Seriously. When have they made a list that you sat up there and you went, yep, they got that one right. Yeah, they got that one done. When have they done that? Because to me, I haven't seen a list that they made that I can respect yet. They've had people in their top 100 who ain't never took a snap in an NFL game, yet we're shocked that a single Lion didn't make it. I told you what the mantra was going to be for this year, which is nobody believes in you. It is not something that I'm pushing or that the head coach is pushing. It's what mainstream media is pushing. It's what the fans are pushing. Nobody believes in the Lions. Nobody is buying into the Lions hype that the Lions are about to do anything. That's not what's happening. That's not what's going on. Nobody is buying into that. Okay? And when you go through and you just look at the reality of it, you should be excited that you're not on that list. You don't want people to buy into what they're doing. You don't want people to believe what you're doing. You want people to overlook you. In fact, you want to be almost Casper. That's right. You want to be the ghost. You want to be the ghost that nobody saw coming. Nobody was willing to talk about, and nobody could understand. I want you to understand that. Because at the end of the day, majority of the time that they make these lists, it's with a certain agenda behind it. Why are you shocked about the agenda? Why are you shocked about what they're saying that we are? We could be whatever they want. We could be the hottest trash on the planet. Let that be their narrative. You don't have to subscribe to it. You don't have to support it. You don't have to believe in it. And the Lions have one job: to prove it wrong. We don't have to do anything. The only thing we got to do is make sure that we're being fair to ourselves. We don't have to sit there and try to come up with an explanation as to why. We don't need to try to make sense of it. We simply need to do what is important. And the thing that I realize is with most Lions fans is y'all get mad about certain things that y'all shouldn't be mad about, And don't get mad about the things that y'all should. But then y'all wonder why we are underlooked, over-reviewed, and nobody talks about us. Nobody. We know we don't show up when it's time to show up. Let somebody say something bad about the Dallas Cowboys or not put a Dallas Cowboy on the top 50. You know how many Cowboy fans would light those chats up with how stupid they are? How dumb they are? You know how many? Let that have been anybody else. 100%. Shout out to my man Down 19. He says, so what up, Luke? Long time no see. Hope that mental health is good, brother. Yes, sir, it is. Appreciate you for asking. That's something we should do more often. We should ask each other, how's the mental health? How are you feeling? 100%. Appreciate it. But let's be honest. The comments like this is why they don't respect us. You got fans in the fan base who can't even muster up enough respect for the team itself, yet y'all gonna get mad. Y'all gonna get mad. So let's talk about the Pro Football Focus. Do you really even care that there's not a player from the Lions on there? It wasn't a Lion on the top 100 until he became a Ram. Remember that? Remember that. I mean, it just is what it is. You think we have a shot at getting Devontae Adams next offseason? No. No, and we shouldn't be trying to get Devontae Adams. You can get a lot of receivers. We need to start treating certain positions like what they are, a dime a dozen. You know? Let's see. Now let's switch gears and talk about this receiving corps, because see, I've seen something that's funny. I saw this article and it talked about the Lions flying under the radar, and I thought to myself, it's not really flying under the radar. It's just that there's a fan base and a bunch of people in the media who don't believe it. And so I started to do some research, right? And I don't know if y'all remember this, but this is happening right around the time that Calvin Johnson retired. And when Calvin Johnson retired, there was a healthy response from fans to his retirement. What I found funny about the response from fans was that many of those fans said that, oh, our receiver corps is done. We suck. We can't do anything. It's over. Lock it up. Wrap it up. We donezo. This is what they said. They said that there is no way, no how that this is how it gets done. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, here we go again. In fact, when the Lions signed Marvin Jones, they even questioned if he was going to be a valuable number one receiver. That was what the article said. The article said that, you know, he's either going to be a valuable number one or a valuable number two. And then some people was even saying that Golden Tate, who he still had at the time, was a slot receiver, and the Lions needed a number one receiver. Y'all may not remember that, but I definitely do. And that's why I did some research. They then turned around and said that the Lions receiving corps was rated as part of one of the worst receiving corps when we had Golden Tate and Marvin Jones. Now, I want y'all to take a second and sit on that, because these narratives get recycled very often. And because it's new news to you, you don't realize that they just recycled the old narrative and you bought in hook, line, and single. But stay with me. Now, they go on to say this, okay? They go on to say that not only is it that this receiver, a.k.a. Marvin Jones, a reach for the Lions, they overpaid for him. I'm just naming all the things that they said. They said we overpaid for Marvin Jones, right? And just to give you some inserts, I'm going to give you some of the things that I just stumbled upon through my research that they said about the Detroit Lions when they got Marvin Jones. Let's start with this first one right here. I'm not going to give you the source, but I'm just going to read it. It says Jones will immediately jump into the lineup, likely as the number two receiver behind Golden Tate. Interestingly, Jones had very similar statistics to Tate when the Lions signed him 2 years ago. Marvin Jones' final year in Cincinnati, 69 catches on 99 targets, 848 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, mind you, we gave him a 5-year deal worth $40 million with $17 million guaranteed. Stay with me. And he picked us over the Patriots. And I believe it was the Seahawks, I think it was. So let me just stay with you. Golden Tate in his final year with the Seattle Seahawks had 64 catches on 99 targets, 989 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to the number of touchdowns because between those two acquisitions, that's 7 total touchdowns, and neither one of them had 1,000 yards receiving, but they was at least targeted a number of times. Now, stay with me. That's just one article. I just wanted y'all to stay with me. Now, here go another one that I thought was very intriguing. It says, although Marvin Jones became a perfect complement to Pro Bowler A.J. Green. Now, mind you, everything's about him being the number 2 guy. It's nothing about him being the number 1 guy. It's nothing about him being a part of a great receiving core or anything else like that. But I'm just want y'all to see how they recycle these old narratives and y'all buy into it. It says his best game came when they went against the New York Jets and they beat them 49-9. It says he had a career game for the first time. He could easily sprint past a corner on a deep route, but now let's go back. That's ESPN. I'm gonna give you that source, but let me go back to this other one just to show you the compliment. Same people, ESPN. This was written 1 week after this by the same writer. While Marvin Jones does not have the breakaway speed or acceleration ability to get it past cornerbacks, but let's go back. He just said that he has the ability to go past corners on deep routes. Oh, okay. It says that now this same writer earlier on said his best ability is to catch in traffic, particularly in short fields from inside the 20 because of the Bengals coaches have long applauded his toughness. Okay. Right? Now, let's go through and look at what else he had to say about him because they love to find a way to say about it. It says Marvin Jones is a 5th-round pick in 2012. Jones wasn't viewed as a true number 1 or number 2 pass catcher when he entered the league, but before long, he proved to be a valuable number 2. Now, even still, they won't get this man his flowers, and it's fine. And I watched every Lions fan panic and go, man, we lost Megatron, and we supposed to go into it with this? Nah. Luke, why are you bringing up all this? Why are you opening up old wounds? Why are you throwing salt in the wound and pissing off people? Why would you do this? Right? Because this goes to another narrative about, Matthew Stafford needs top receivers to succeed. That's what they said. It's not me making this up. I wish it was something I was making up, but it's not. It's not. Marvin Jones came in from one team to another team, and it's amazing to me how night and day things can be. Stay with me. In 2015, the Cincinnati Bengals, Marvin Jones had a total of 13 games started. He had a total of 103 targets and caught 65 of those 103 for 816 yards and 4 touchdowns. And in his first season with Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions, what do you know? 15 games started, 103 targets, caught 55 of them, but still had more yards with 930 in the same total of touchdowns. Stay with me. See, it gets intriguing how people like to put people in a box. I'm saying all of this to bring you to a certain point. Let's go back to some of these other articles that they had when the Lions signed Marvin Jones. Because apparently, if anybody else signed Marvin Jones, kudos. But if the Lions do it, push posh, right? Let's get into it. It says Jones owned the ability to make spectacular athletic plays and tough catches, which landed him around the league NFL, making the elite list 2 years ago. Make no mistake, Jones would not replace Megatron. No one could do that. He's not. I'm going to repeat it again. He's not a number 1 wideout in his own. However, the 25-year-old receiver could become a good pairing with Golden Tate as a 1A, 1B situation. Detroit should be expected to add a wideout in the middle rounds or earlier part of the NFL draft to help these receivers succeed. Oh, boy, I tell you. People, now, let's talk about some of the things. Have y'all ever just happened to look at the averages of receiving cores? Like, y'all ever looked at that? And the scary part is when you look at these averages, I know many of you are not going to like what I'm about to say. It is not for me to be discrediting or to be disrespectful, but it's for me to point out to you how easily you can be duped by ridiculous reporting and recycling of reporting. Everybody panicked when we lost Kenny Galladay, a guy who gave us 338 yards and 2 touchdowns in 5 games. And yes, I believe he plays hurt because he didn't want to come in and do anything. And the season before that, in 2019, he played all 16 games, which is why I know he was BSing when it came to last season because he didn't want to get himself hurt. But he had 116 targets, 65 catches, 1,190 yards, and 11 touchdowns. And you say, Luke, what is the damn point? Well, Brashard Perriman, a guy who, for all practical purposes, realistically, played on a small team known as the Jets. Not a very good team, but a team known as the Jets. Had 505 yards, 3 touchdowns on 30 receptions, and didn't do that bad, right? Just similarly, right? And then you go to people like Tyrell Williams, now who obviously didn't play in 2020, but in 2019, what do you know? Another guy with a small amount of receptions for 651 yards and 6 touchdowns. And I'm saying to myself, okay, well, where are we getting at on this? Hell, Quintez Cephas numbers are just as comparable as Kenny Galladay, and he only played 2 games. So Quintez Cephas started 2 games, had 20 receptions for 349 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Kenny Galladay started 3 games for 24 receptions, 338 yards and 2 touchdowns. In other words, what I'm telling you is this: not only is the Detroit Lions receiving core flying under the radar, the fan base have lost their damn mind and putting respect on the receiving core's name. Y'all have forgotten what it looks like to actually play football as a team. Y'all have forgotten what it takes for a receiving core to be great. I'll show you something that's even more intriguing, something that truly caught my attention, and I thought to myself, this can't be real, because how could this be real if for some strange reason that this is true, how could I have missed this? How could I have not known? Right? Now, we talk about the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we all know that they have some weapons over there. Now, they top target literally had 109 targets for 1,006 yards and 13 touchdowns. And you go, okay, Luke, what is the point, Luke? What is the point? It's the point I'm trying to make to you is look at the receiving cores that we have now, numbers from their last year, and you'll be surprised to see that they're pretty much in line with some of the teams that went to the Super Bowl. I mean, damn near spot on. Damn near. There were people who was in the mix, like Chris Godwin, who people was like, yo, he a good receiver, a guy that I wanted years ago, but hey, what can I say? What can I say? I can't always get what I want, and it is what it is. But there are people like Chris Godwin who had a number of fair targets and shots, and it worked out for them just fine. And then you go through and you just look at some of the other teams. Like, everybody loved them some Lamar Jackson. Oh, we can't get enough of Lamar. Oh, them Ravens, they got it all. Lamar get it done. They got them all. And if I were to tell you that they were dead last in pass, you would probably say I was a liar. Because they ran the ball efficiently. And they won a lot of games efficiently. You go and look at people, even going looking at Ryan Tannehill, you will see there's a consistency with his receiving core and the numbers they put up in conjunction with what they do opposite. Y'all have forgot what it looks like to see a whole team, to see them play the same. So let's talk about TJ Hockenson, because he's part of this equation too, right? TJ Hockenson is a guy who finally started to get some targets, right? He got 101 targets, caught 67 of them for 723 yards and 6 touchdowns. Played all 16 games. Made a Pro Bowl, because y'all love that kind of stuff. Y'all love that kind of stuff. But then I go through and I look at all the receiving numbers. And what do you know? What do you know? Our shit line up. It's right in line with the rest of the other league's numbers. The only thing that we could have a knock on, if you really just had to do it, the only thing you can probably put a knock on is can they stay healthy? But that could be said for a lot of people, right? Some of the favorite receivers that y'all wanted did the same thing. Okay, this is the level of respect that y'all give to other people. We run around here all day, hyped up and talking up all these other people because if they're not on the Detroit Lions, they're good. That's how y'all feel. It's not just us. It's not just us with these problems. That's how y'all feel. Nobody, I keep telling everybody, do your research. Otherwise, you look like a chump. Nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to get their hands dirty. And the reality is this. You're writing off a receiving core who's right in line with the rest of the league. Who knew? Shocking. You go through and take all the averages that you want, and you will see for yourself where we are standing. This is the reality. Not every receiver is going to put up big numbers. Not every receiver is going to have a lot of touchdowns. But you can get good production without the guy having 1,000 yards receiving. Robert Woods didn't have 1,000 yards. Juju Smith-Schuster didn't have 1,000 yards. Keenan Allen didn't have 1,000 yards. Deontay Johnson didn't have 1,000 yards. You can go through and look at it. See it for yourself. Receivers that many of you hype up and loathe over because they were on your fantasy football team, and you simply think you got the answers because why else would you not have the answers when you can simply look at it and understand what it is? If you were to go through and you were to look at the number of yards per receivers, the Ravens are dead last with 2,919 yards. We're not going to talk about that, though. We're not going to talk about that. Dead last. How are they winning? How were they having success? Where were they getting this done at? You want to hear the teams who had the top passing attack in terms of yards? The Kansas City Chiefs and the freaking Houston Texans, who you had a better record than with a worse team. You want to know where the Super Bowl champs ranked at? Top 5 in receiving yards. You know who was number 6? The Falcons. And they didn't do so hot neither. You start to see something here where you can literally look. You want to talk about total touchdowns. Let's look at the teams who shutting it down in total touchdowns in the Green Bay Packers. 48 total touchdowns caught by the receiving corps. 42 by the Buccaneers. 40 by the Seahawks. And 40 by the Chiefs. 40 by the Bills. 35 by the Steelers. 35 by the Vikings. 33 by the Texans. Well, Luke, what is the Lions rank in all of this? The Lions have 4,397 yards. I'm telling y'all to do some research. The part that you want to focus on the most is this right here. Receptions, yards per reception. You know who had the lowest yards per reception? The Pittsburgh Steelers. Followed by the football team, the Bears, the Jags, the Bengals, the Giants, the Cardinals. Yeah, that same Cardinal team that had Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, and a host of other receivers, Keyshawn, I mean, you name it. That team, they had the lowest yards per reception. We're not going to talk about that. You know who had the highest yards per reception? The Houston Texans. How did they finish? See, we could blame the quarterback 1,000 times over, but now that excuse is out the window. We as a fan base are not paying enough attention to what the reality is. We're missing the point of what it takes. And now we're trying to figure out, we ain't got no receiving core. And, we got to get this thing together. We got to find a receiver. We don't need a receiving core. We don't. What we need is a comprehensive consistency in running the ball. That's what we need. The receivers will catch the ball when opportunity presents itself. But it's not hard to get left in the rough when you don't have a run game. You got people getting mad because they took all these interior guys because we needed a receiver. Yeah, because you know those are the ones who winning. Let's talk about it. Right? Let's talk about it. Here go your top receiving yards per game. Texans, Vikings, Titans, Raiders, Chiefs, Lions. The Lions? Did I say the Lions? The Lions are in the top 10 for receiving yards per game. With Kenny Galladay only playing 5 games. With Quintez Cephas barely getting any reps. Who was this ball going to, Luke? It had to be Marvin, right? He got a few. TJ, he got a few. Who was they throw the ball to, Luke? That's for you to figure out. Do the research. I'm breaking you to the water. It's not my job to make you drink. I got you here. I'm trying to get you to think. Okay? I'm trying to get you to think. They say, oh, we ain't got no deep threat. You know who, in terms of yards 20 or more. 20 or more, the lowest, the Bengals. 20 or more. You know who got the highest? The Texans. Look, all these statistics where this bottom-feeding team did everything right in the pass game, but it's a passing league. Luke, don't do this. And y'all sleep on our receiving core because it's not a name that you know. It's not somebody you can pick up in fantasy football. It's not somebody that you want to pick up in fantasy football. You want the name. You want somebody to make you come to the stadium so you can piss off and be angry and go off about what the team did because it don't matter. Your fantasy team is winning. The Detroit Lions is number 8 and plays 20 yards or more. Oh, that's with Stafford, Luke. Okay, we want to play that game now. And plays 40 yards or more. You want to know who's dead last in that? The New England Patriots, the Bears, the Dolphins, the Giants, the Jags, the Browns. Yeah, I said it, the Browns. Because, you know, Baker Mayfield's lighting them up down the field. The Bengals, the Ravens, and the football team. You want to know who's in the top? The Cardinals, the Packers, the Titans, the Bucks, the Raiders. Oh, my God. What do you know? The Lions is in there, too. Okay, but that can't make sense, Luke. Clearly, our receiving core is weak. Is it? Let's go back to these reports on when we had Marvin Jones. This one I especially enjoyed the most. The Detroit Lions go into, and I want y'all to understand something, that this is all about keeping it respectable. I don't want nobody to take this personal. I just want y'all to think. Why would they say all these things now to change them later? The Detroit Lions head into the 2016 season after not drafting a receiver to complement Golden Tate and Marvin Jones. Have and I quote, the 28th ranked receiving core. 28th. Luke, why are you bringing this up? This ain't fair. Why are you doing this? Well, let's go to the 2016 season. With the 28th ranked receiving core. This is what we're talking about, right? The 28th ranked receiving core. That's all this is. All right, let's talk about it. They were still ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th. 12th in receiving yards. The 28th ranked receiving core. You wonder why articles have been written that they're flying under the radar and why people like me can look at something objectively and go, barring injury, because injury is the only thing that neutralizes any player or any team. You wonder why people like me are doing that. You wonder why I'm sitting here trying to bring things to your attention, because I think when it comes to this receiving core, I think you may have overlooked it. Now, let's go ahead and put this in perspective. Let's talk about what the Rams did. The Rams use a lot of their receivers on the inside, right? And they use the tight end as another piece, and they would throw it deep down there occasionally, right? But stay with me. Look at the Detroit Lions. Look at them. And look at the Lions receiving core. And I told you what the plan is Amon-Ra and Quintez Cephas underneath, and the other two guys on the outside to take the top off. You don't think that receiving core going to get better? I mean, hell, in 2016, when we were ranked at 28th, we ended up the 12th best receiving core. Out of 32, the 12th best. It's not pretty damn bad if you ask me. But Luke, that was with Stafford. All right, I play this game with you. Okay, I'm here for it. I got time today. I'm here for it. Luke, Brashard Perriman, man, he had a lot of drops. It's funny you should say that. You know who else had a lot of drops? You know who else had a lot of drops? I mean, if we gonna talk about it, I mean, let's talk about it. That guy named Kenny Galladay. Okay. In his career year, he only caught 56% of his passes. 56% of his passes in his career year. Career year. I'm trying to get y'all to understand something. The lowest catch percentage comes from Tyrell Williams at 40%, and that was his rookie year, in which he started 7 games and got hurt and had 2 catches for the whole season. But people sleeping on the receiving core. They don't want to talk about that. I don't understand this. There are other things that help the team be better. Receiving core is going to be just fine. You just stuck in fantasy football, and fantasy football is going to lie to you. It's fake money. How some of y'all be on the gram with play money from Amazon, acting like y'all getting bans. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not calling nobody y'all single, but if the shoe fits, wear it. They said the Lions had the 28th rated receiving core, and all it did was show up and do the damn thing. But we blame the quarterback. Okay. All right. Let's have some fun with this. Some of y'all fall in love with people like Aaron Rodgers. And I'm going to use this to kind of bring home the point about the receiving core before I move on to another topic. What if I were to tell you that Blake Bortles has 2 playoff wins. You know how you like to talk about y'all like to talk about Stafford and his playoff wins. Since 2017, he has 2 playoff wins. You know who he's in company with 2 playoff wins since 2017? Aaron Rodgers. You want to hear the funny part about it? All the time that they won, they ran the ball. And all the time that they lost, they were a pass first team. The great Aaron Rodgers. Stop sleeping on our receiving core because you don't know the name. Put some respect on their name. You're not asking them to be great. You're asking them to catch a few damn passes here and there. Make a block here and there. Stay healthy. We don't need to go through all the other stuff and come up with this crazy stuff. Our receiving core right now, given the numbers that they have with their previous teams, and yes, they were on some bad teams, given the numbers that they have, are still in the league's average top 15 to 20 with those numbers. And that's if I remove tight end production. If I remove tight end production from Kansas City, then you know they fall into the bottom too. Let's put it in perspective. I don't want y'all to lose sight of the truth. The truth is the only thing that you're going to get in this life. And 9 times out of 10, most people don't want to tell you that because it's too hard to come by. So let's talk about this next topic, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're sleeping on this receiving core and you're panicked and you think that we got to do some things different, then you probably don't understand the direction in which the Lions is going. But that brings me to another point. Since we're talking about this receiving core, let's talk about the quarterback a little bit. This question was posed to me by a subscriber, and I never had a chance to get around to it because work has made sure they got every penny out of me. Right? They've made sure that they did it all. Right? He asked me, is this the best offensive line that Goff has ever played behind? And I really had to think long and hard and go and look. I had to go and look to match it up, to take ours on paper and look at theirs on paper. And I'm telling you, it is scary. It is scary. Okay. This might be the best offensive line that not only has he played behind, but that Stafford won't get the pleasure of playing behind. Now you may say, Luke, but do you what? Because that rookie? No, because I think people are now in their position of strength. I think that you'll be better served with Big VS guard and somebody else at right tackle. I just think that. Yes, he's going to have growing pains. Yes, he's going to make mistakes. Yes, he's going to get penalties. Who cares? He's learning, right? It'll be all right. But what we can't do is act as if though. We can't act as if though that this is not the truth. So what does that mean for Jared Goff? What that means is Jared Goff needs to show certain strides with protection. Unlike Stafford, who has basically been said Super Bowl or bust, he's not even been, and i.e. he, Jared Goff, is not even being asked to make it to a damn playoff game. If he just get to the playoffs and play well enough, a lot of fans who've been waiting to tell me and so many other people that the problem with Stafford will be delighted. And if they don't, then for them, the same people will just say, I told you that Jared Goff was trash. I've seen the stories. I've seen the stories. How does this line equate to success for the Detroit Lions? It's simple. If Jared Goff has better protection with this offensive line, and he will, he'll have a similar, if not comparable, rushing attack to which he had with the Rams. Then Jared Goff is going to be under a better, thicker, bigger microscope for me. Now, I'm giving him a small margin of error because he got to learn a new offense, right? And unlike most Lion fans who think everything takes 3 years to get people in position, I'm merely saying that by the midway point of the season, he should be in his stride. That's a fair assessment. I love this right here. It says, Greedy the Amazing Patriots only had a good wide receiver core 1 year, but won multiple Super Bowls running the game, and the top 15 defense will get you where you want to go. Can I pin that up there? Can I pin that up there? Can we put some respect on that? I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Some people don't want to hear truth. Jared Goff sits up here with an opportunity right now to not only revamp himself, but probably in the best situation to revamp his career. Because part of the problem was his coach. And if you know anything about me, you know I am not an apologetic person towards coaching because I believe that majority of the failures of these teams fall from just that position. Poor coaching. Rarely do you have great coaching with bad general manager play, but God, do I got to start off with the coaching. We have to be able to see how this has changed the dynamic for this team. So Jared Goff comes into it. He'll get better protection. He'll get a receiving core who has something to prove. And the most important part of it is he gets the core that he needs to be successful, which is the slots and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Quintez Cephas. It's going to be a lot of hell to pay because you can't cover it all. You want to jump underneath and try to take away those inside routes? Go ahead. TJ Hockenson to kill you on the outside. You want to try to put a safety on Hockenson and still cover those underneath routes? We're going to burn you over the top. You want to go into some kind of stunt where you got a third safety out there that's roaming the field? We'll kill you with the running back out the backfield or just run the ball. Every part of the Detroit Lions has been built to create levels. And there are different levels to this offense. There are going to be different levels to this defense. We're going to go from a team who blitzed very rarely to a team who blitz more commonly. We're going to go to a team where guys couldn't win one-on-one matchups to a team where multiple guys can win one-on-one. So you better bring your lunch. It's going to be a long day. Well, Luke, where are you getting this from? All we got is a couple rookie D tackles. I understand. But it's about putting him in the best position. One of the reasons that Snacks was irritated with Matt Patricia was because not only did he have him out of position, he didn't put him in position to be his best to succeed. This is the part we misses. This is the part that we don't understand, that we just can't wrap our heads around. That's too much for us to understand. It's the reality for our team. We have to be in a position to succeed on every level, and there's different levels to this. In fact, that should be the words going into the season. There's different levels to this. Every game ain't going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be clean. It's not going to be perfect. But before we get there, we got to do something called practice. And that brings me to my next point. For the first time in a long time, the Detroit Lions will not have a joint practice. And I'm going to tell you why this is a good idea. I'm going to say this one more time. For the first time in a long time, we will not be having a joint practice. And I'm going to tell you why this is a good idea. Let's follow what I've already given you. The receiving core is going to be hot garbage. Remember that? They're not going to be good. This team is terrible. Remember that? Hell, I just saw recently that Dan Campbell supposed to be the second worst coach in the NFL. Remember that? I don't want y'all to miss anything about this. I'm telling you all these different things that they have said so far. The Lions are going to have the first overall pick and select the quarterback because they're that terrible. They're at least 3 years away. The media told the fans that, and they repeated it religiously. At least 3 years away. Right? Stay with me. Every year that the Lions had a joint practice, I was excited about it because it gave us a chance, i.e. Bob Quin, an opportunity to see other players and steal them. He had done it every team. But this is the 1 year where I'm happy we don't have a joint practice because you don't believe in what we're doing any damn way, and I don't want you to know what I'm doing. In fact, not only do I not want you to know what I'm doing, I don't want you to call up your friends and tell them what I'm doing. I want you to come on into this building, treat us the same way you've been treating us, and give us no respect. And when I hit you in the mouth, all your plans go out the door. And now you ain't got to respect me, but you know I'm here. You see, y'all took the kneecap biting thing, and y'all didn't catch the metaphor, but I'm going to bring it home to you. The Lions not having a joint practice tells the team that you have to compete against each other. The guy across from you thinks he can take your spot. Are you willing to give it up? I'm only going to put the best of the best on the field. I don't care if it's the water boy. I don't care if it's the marketing agent. I don't care if it's the person delivering the mail. Whoever come here and want the spot going to get it. There's no handouts here. You're going to earn that spot. And the reality is this joint practice sends another message. It sends a message to the media. It sends a message to the fans. Don't worry about us. Don't believe in us. Don't buy into the hype. We ain't worth it. This is beautiful. I'm so excited that we're not having the joint practice because, one, any player need to be evaluated is already evaluated. I told y'all that there's a lot of players that we didn't get that we wanted, and I saw that just in watching that 37-minute video on In the Den for the Lions YouTube channel. They were frustrated that they couldn't get on the phone fast enough with certain free agents and went down the list so they can get as many as possible. And I said to myself, well, damn, they're not done. People think because you put the base coat down on your paint that means that the paint is done. They're still putting pieces to it. This is the thing that we're talking about right here. This is the thing that we're missing. So what's the joint practice? What does that tell me? Well, I looked at the dates that they gave out because, this is going to be the time they're going to let fans come back with some caveats, but they're going to let fans come back to see some practices, right? And the first thing I noticed with most of those practices, only one of them is on a Saturday. One. All the rest are through the week. That way it guarantees a smaller crowd because ain't too many people going to be calling off work to go watch somebody else go to work. That's the first part. Two, they already know that most fans ain't anticipating the Lions being good no way. Three, out of those two, that one on Saturday, I believe, for season ticket holders. So don't even waste your energy. If you're not prepared to go and see what they're doing Monday through Friday, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, by the way, they're all in the morning. See, in the past, the Lions would adjust their practice schedules and stuff to help the fans get there and to get a crowd. Now they're basically saying, nope, we run at this time, and either you here or you not. Either way it go, we're practicing. But the joint practice is a signal to the rest of the league. I don't want you to know what I'm doing. In fact, don't even buy what you see in preseason. Don't even buy it. It's going to be the most bland, basic stuff you ever seen. And then you're going to get to the regular season and see something different. They don't want you to know nothing. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy is what they're telling you. They want you to show up with that same expectations because you as a Lion fan, God forbid you have a decency or an ounce of respect for yourself and for your team to simply root for them in a new year. It's almost like you have another baby. You just go, it's here. No celebration needed. Ugh. Trying to help y'all get here. Trying to open up y'all eyes to some things. The Lions literally for over the last 3, 4, 5, I want to say 6 seasons have had a joint practice. I'm talking about that went back to the Caldwell era through the Matt Patricia era. It became a real popular thing. The Lions said, I don't need y'all to see nothing. Y'all don't believe in me no way. I'm not supposed to be the head coach. He ain't supposed to be the goddamn defensive coordinator. And Brad Holmes ain't supposed to be the GM. Y'all don't need to see nothing we doing. Y'all don't need to see nothing we doing. The reality is whatever you think we doing, we did it already. You say we suck? Yep, we suck. Wait till you catch me on Sunday in the regular season. Oh, but I want to see y'all. I want to see y'all go against another team in practice. My guys ain't here to put a show on for you. They'll put a show on for you on Sunday when it counts. I saw this comment the other day. Matter of fact, it might have been today. I think it was Easy777 that posted it in Discord. Who talked about Bill Wash, and how people always seem to come up with these narratives that don't make sense. But most of these coaches generally don't come to coach. They come to motivate. And I've showed y'all in the past that every single time the Lions ever had any success, we had a player's coach. Every time. Every time we had any success, it was with a player's coach. Whenever we failed, it was the opposite of player's coach, whatever that was. Right? And you go through and you just simply look. You just simply look at the Detroit Lions right now as it stands. You have a coach who's going to be about the team first. That's why he's not having a joint practice. I don't need to see who's on the other team. I got a scouting department for that. I don't need to have my guys go against somebody else. We're going to do it on Sunday. We don't need that. Right? Now, stay with me. Stay with me. Because the joint practice, there's another key part of not having a joint practice that you just don't understand. You know what that is? It's the protection of coach to the team. And the team who feels protected and safeguarded from some of the ridicule and stuff like that plays harder for the coaching staff. He doesn't want all them cameras and all them people up in there so they can report stuff that don't need to be reported. Don't believe me? Look at the media. He hasn't thrown one person under the bus. Any negative remarks made to him by the media, he answers them intelligently. He is 100% protective of the team. Watch what the team do to protect him. You don't think he showed them, oh, I'm the second worst coach. God, can I call a game? I'm right behind another guy who just hired too, and David Colley. Okay, go Houston. Training camp ain't far away. All right? This sounds near like a rant, Luke. It's not really a rant. I told you I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. Let's get to another topic real quick. I promise after this topic, I'm gonna let it go. I asked this question on Lions on the Prowl, I want to say last Friday. Will the Detroit Lions' success in season hinge more on our defensive line or offensive line? You in the chat, I need y'all help on this one. I need y'all to tell me, Do you think the Detroit Lions' success in season will hinge more so on the defensive line or offensive line? I'll save my answer for later. I want to see where y'all go. Where y'all going with this? I love this statement by Matthew Ferguson. He says, not this many credible coaches came here because they thought Campbell was garbage. No, we can't say that. That's too much truth right there. When you say something like that, you're drinking Kool-Aid. And I find it funny how Lions fans always want to say we're drinking Kool-Aid like there ain't some other beverages out there that we may like. I might be a mimosa guy. Who knows? I might be a whiskey dude. Who knows? But apparently we got to be either sugar high or just plain out drunk. Either way it go, the truth hurts. And that many people showed up for a bum. I'll show you a bum and tell me who showed up for him. Matt Patricia. Who showed up for him? Who? The moment he went out and got Corey Underland, I was like, why y'all keeping him? Just fire him at this point. He can't even get staff. You know, what can I say? What I don't get is how people grade Dan Campbell the worst when he ain't done nothing yet. He has nobody of work to show because it's the Lions. The same way all of a sudden now Stafford is the Stafford season. He's the GOAT. It's funny how this works. All he had to do is give it from the Lions and his brand is automatically better. But let's see. I want to know how this season is going to hinge. When I explain to you my answer, I think y'all think you got to get on board, or maybe you won't. So I got O-line. I say O-line. It said they basically did their team rankings and said, okay, replace the team name with coaches. Both. Okay. Both don't count. That's cheating. You got to pick one or the other. I'm making it hard for a reason. D-line, defense, O-line. Defense. It says I'm a defensive guy at heart, but the O-line has to succeed for this team too. Defense. Let me see. Patricia was ranked the worst coach without a game coach. I ain't surprised. I ain't surprised. But he didn't have a coaching staff neither, or a front office. Depends on how you want to look at it. I'm just putting it out there. Craig says, what up, Luke? What up, though? All right, now, here we go. The answer is going to shock you. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer per se, but there's a perspective I want you to think about. Okay? In order for this team to have success, the offensive line needs to be the one that clicks, and I'll explain to you why. If you go through and you look at the quarterbacks in the Detroit Lions history over the years, just look at them, right? We're talking about going to the latest one in Matthew Stafford. Do you know how many times he was sacked last year? Excuse me. You know how many times he was sacked last year? 38 times. 38 times. One season, when he played 8 games, he was sacked 18 times. Another season he was sacked 47 times. And he's been sacked constantly. Now, that's just the sacks. I didn't even bring up the quarterback pressures. I'm saving that for a moment later. Now, let's talk about Jared Goff. Jared Goff, the guy who's going to be the quarterback for the Lions right now. And this is not me making this up, but just showing something. Jared Goff at times, when facing extreme pressure, and it's not just a Jared Goff issue, because if you don't believe me, go talk to Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Go tell me how Patrick Mahomes did in extreme pressure. We can talk about it. Jared Goff, in his whole career, at best, on average, has been sacked 23 times. On average. He rarely gets touched. And on those plays where he's constantly getting touched, he's had some of his worst games. If the Lions are going to have success in the passing game, success in the run game, and success as a team, I'm telling you right now, that offensive line has to hold up. I'm going to tell you the most important part of the why. With the defensive line, You can create pressure from all different levels. Again, I told you there's different levels to this, right? You can send linebackers and blitzes and different things like that to fix that problem. See, last year we wasn't doing a lot of blitzing. We had a scheme that allowed for us to be very predictable, and there wasn't a lot to be desired when it came to our defensive line. But when it came to our offense, and I'm just going to fast forward to another point, when it came to our offense failing, most of the times the quarterback was getting sacked. Most recently, if you think about it, when we had the top defense in 11 and 14 and our defensive line was doing the damn thing, we still struggled in a number of games and beat a lot of bottom-feeding teams because the defensive line did do their part, but our offense couldn't put points on the board. We became the king of the field goals. We could kick them from anywhere. Parking lot, the Bermuda Triangle, Mexico. We can kick a field goal from the moon and still make it hit. That's how we got down. When you go through and you look at the team as a whole, and you go through and you look at 2011, right? Just 2011, and you just simply look at that offense. Just look at that offense. The quarterback got touched way too many times. It just shouldn't happen. Shouldn't happen. Stafford that year did a damn thing, but still got sacked 36 times, and I haven't even brought up the pressures yet. So let's talk about Jared Goff. Jared Goff, like most quarterbacks, succeeds better in the clean pocket. The run game succeeds better. If you can't run the ball, then that means you got to rely on Jared Goff. And if you're just relying on Jared Goff, you basically just made him Matthew Stafford all over again because now we're back to being one-dimensional. The offensive line has to succeed. It has to. Our success is going to come from that side of the ball because with the run game comes control, comes field position, comes opportunities. And if you have a defense that can get you the ball back short, but you can't run the ball. Y'all remember how many times the Lions got in the red zone between 2011 and 2014 and couldn't freaking score? Did y'all forget that? Because the line was getting beat up every step of the way. Quarterback running for his life and ducking and dodging, trying not to get hit. And that's without me even talking about the pressure. But right here, as pointed out by B. Shaw, 0918, pressure on the quarterback is directly relationship to winning. You don't believe me? Go and talk to Patrick Mahomes. You don't think their defense was getting home? They got home a few times, but for the most part, they couldn't get near the quarterback. And thus, the Buccaneers kept on rolling. But guess what happened when the Buccaneers D-line got to him? Because their offensive line had a multitude of injuries and couldn't hold up and couldn't keep the pressure off the quarterback. He was rendered useless. Useless. If the Lions is going to have any success, we have to start at the offensive line. Now, I know the easiest answer is to go both. But starting off, I just need my defense to be well enough. That's all I need. Well enough. Let me see this one right here. Hey, Luke, didn't you recall having the most short passes in the league? That's why he didn't get sacked as much. True. But the problem is this. Even if you are throwing a bunch of short passes, that makes you one-dimensional. That makes you predictable. And when you become predictable, that makes you an easy target. It's easy to beat a one-dimensional person. I can't think of the name of the basketball player, but I remember. Well, I put it this way: it was Kobe Bryant. Now I know everybody ain't gonna be a Kobe Bryant, but let me explain this to you. It was Kobe Bryant. He was talking about he was guarding this defender, and he noticed that this defender had a strong hand and one strong hand only. And whenever he would try to set you up for a crossover or try to drive past you, he would always do a certain thing with his strong hand where he would open the hand out towards the court. And so he said anytime he saw that, he knew that he was getting ready to go for that crossover, and he would knock the ball away every single time. That person that he was talking about came out later and said only somebody great would have noticed that. The same thing happens in football. If the only thing you can do is run the ball, I'm going to beat you. If the only thing you can do is pass the ball, I'm going to beat you. If you can't keep your quarterback clean, I'm going to beat you. If you can't find ways to generate pressures and other things like that, I'm going to beat you. Everything indicates that that offensive line needs to hold up. It needs to. Because when you think about the way our defense is designed, most of our pressure is coming from those rush outside linebackers and our our blitzing interior linebackers and a few safety blitzes. Maybe an occasional corner blitz here and there. You have to be able to do it. Matthew Ferguson says, Dose Dion broke down the analytics of Goff and the O-line success. Shout out to Dose Dion. Why are we acting like Goff is Blake Bortles or Case Keenum? I don't know. People want to believe that he's garbage because it's easier. He's a Detroit Lion. And the reason they want that, and I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth, because I've been paying attention, it's because most Detroit Lion fans want a mobile quarterback so they can play with him on Madden and in fantasy football. That's the truth. The pocket quarterback is boring. Who wants a pocket quarterback if it's not Tom Brady? It's boring. That's what they want. Just saying. You have to have every piece work together. And our success is going to be hinged completely on the offensive line success. Because even last year, with receivers being out and stuff, there was some moderate protection for Stafford up until it wasn't, like against Houston, against the Panthers, against the Packers. No, not the Packers. I'm trying to think of the other team. Jesus, it just drew blank. But there was like 3 teams where I remember they just smacked on us, constantly getting home. And why? Because we couldn't keep the quarterback upright. That's 1. 2, we didn't run the ball. And then 3, we were so one-dimensional. Why would I worry about anything else? They were damn near daring us to to run the ball. Go back and look at those games. Why no loaded box? It's going to hinge on that. The only reason that many people will jump to the defensive side of the ball because we know what the defensive side of the ball brings to the table. But think about it. We've had good defenses and still haven't had the success because we couldn't score. We couldn't move the ball. We couldn't do nothing. And the quarterback, in an effort to protect him from getting destroyed year in and year out, we literally just said, But I'm just speaking the truth here. That's why people don't like Jared Goff. That's why people is not sitting up there wanting to talk about the pocket passer because it's not sexy. They want Lamar Jackson, even though I showed you that he had the lowest passing yards. Y'all don't like that. That's too much truth right there. But he had 1,000 yards rushing, Luke. So what? So did Vic. Where did that get him? Go and look at all these mobile quarterbacks. What did that get him? The year Cam Newton won MVP, I told everybody this is a joke. He had 9 games where he threw for 1 touchdown or none and about 180 yards or less. 9 out of 16 games. And he's the MVP. Look how many yards he rushed for, Luke. And look what happened when he got to a game that mattered. Fumbling the ball, don't want to jump on it. Under pressure, can't throw the ball. Trying to run, getting bottled up and choked out. The people here don't like what they see because they wanted a mobile quarterback. If the Lions would have drafted Trae Young, I guarantee you the media would have had the Detroit Lions a playoff team. The media would have had the fan base buying into it, and the fan base would have had us an NFC championship team. But because we got good old boring pocket passer, we done. We can't win with that. There's no way a pocket passer can be good. This same fan base who's telling me go out and get Fitzpatrick, the pocket passer. I don't understand it, but this is what happened. Just putting it out there. Just saying. At this point, I'm going to take y'all questions, right? I think y'all don't heard me speak enough. I wanted to touch on a bunch of different things, and I said those things. I wanted to make sure that I caught on certain points, and I caught on them. It said the coach put a lot of pressure on Stafford when we played them last season. That's the other goddamn team I was thinking of. Thank you. They were the team I was thinking of. I've drawn blanks all over here, but you're right. They did put a lot of pressure on him. That boy was running for his life. I think at one point, he might have looked over there and was like, "Hey, the clock 0-0." No, shit. Okay. Just give me up. I'm telling you, this is the reality of it. This is the reality that we sit with as we try to go through and understand what is being asked of us. That's the reality of it. The artist says, "I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping that we were going to take Trey Lance in the draft. I know, and we all want the mobile, running, whatever you want to call him. We want the guy with the flash. That's not gonna get us anywhere." Shout out to my man Demetrius Darrell. I'm probably gonna botch your last name, Reiner. Hope I said that right. What up, though? Goff is not a bad quarterback. You ain't got to tell me. we speak in the same language, and I'm telling you right now, I'm fluent in it. I'm not even acting like he the second coming of like Joe Montana or anything like that. I'm merely pointing out to you there are people that we have had that were worse, and they have done more. Jared Goff is much better than Eric Kramer. Let's be honest. Like I said, they keep moving the goalposts. At first, it was, well, he ain't win no playoff games. Then you get a guy who win playoff games, and it wasn't him. Well, he ain't never been to Super Bowl. You get a guy that's been to Super Bowl, but now he's trash. See, he can't read defenses, and he's been faking it all these years. Amazing. If you ask me, I think he personally should go into acting. If you manage to go through 5 years of faking like you an NFL quarterback, either you are what's his name? I'm trying to think. What's the method actor who goes full out on his portrayals? He don't even act no more. I can't think of his damn name. He was Abraham Lincoln. God, what is his name? Daniel Lewis? Is that his name? He's got to be the Daniel Day-Lewis of his time. He got to be the Denzel Washington of his time. If you went all these years and you ain't know how to read defenses, I'm shocked. I'm appalled. Can't believe this. Cannot. I would rather have a quarterback that uses legs to escape pressure and extend plays than a quarterback that runs for a couple yards as soon as they feel any pressure. Yeah, I mean, people act like Patrick Mahomes is so fast. He just know how to get the few yards he needs. And same thing happens with Russell Wilson. The same thing happens with Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna take what you give me. Aaron Rodgers had people so gassed up they thought he could have ran it in from way out there. Even though I can tell based on angles of defenders, he wasn't gonna make it. Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis. That's what I'm talking about. That's what Jared Goff is. 5 years of faking being an NFL quarterback, and somehow in his fake making it to a Super Bowl with a team. He's not real. He can't read defense. It's impressive. He need an Oscar. Somebody get that man a trophy. I mean, best actor. He got to have it. Best actor awards. No way possible we can do anything outside of that. Best actor, right? This is the things that we don't want to talk about. These are the things that we don't want to bring up because to tell this is to be disrespectful. We don't want to talk about that. But we find every reason to bash our team. There are people who come in this chat and all they do is spew negative the entire time. And I'm cool with it. I really am. I believe that they're entitled to their opinion. What I have a problem is when your opinion is so one-sided. You can't tell me what they need to do to be good in your eyes. You can't tell me what they have to be or what you need to see for them to be legitimately off of your shit list. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. I saw this stat the other day and made me want to puke. Right? It really made me want to puke. And I'm trying to figure out if I can find it because I thought that there's no way that this can be a real stat. There's no way. Basically, it said that this guy had, how did they word it? This guy had one of the worst games, won the MVP and went to a Super Bowl. And it ended up being Peyton Manning. I think he had like 40 yards in that whole game. And they won by double digits. They ran the ball to death and played defense. It's shocking to me. Shocking to me. You want to know why I have more belief? Why I have more belief in the fact that this team is going to be different. Let's look at this. It says, but that broken back might be the reason the Rams paid way too much for Stafford. Imagine if he missed any time. I think what you start to see with them is they pay the price tag because at this point McVay is technically on the hot seat. And so at this point, he needs to find a scapegoat. And this is what every coach do when they get put on a hot seat. You don't believe me? Look at going down from Matt Patricia to any other coach you could think of. They start tossing people under the bus. It's everybody else's fault but theirs. There's no accountability. Why would there be? Like if we're going to have any form of accountability, why would I care about that accountability? There's no way I can honestly say that there's a level of accountability of any source. Psycho Lions fan, what's going on? I want people to see what I see. And I don't want you to force it. I don't want to force it. I want you to just be able to see what I see. I'm pointing out some things that I don't think y'all really want to talk about. And the reason y'all don't want to talk about it is because to talk about it would mean to have to face the truth. That maybe the football that you thought you knew ain't what you thought you knew. See, this is the disrespect that comes in right here. This is where we got to change the way we do things. See, we can't talk about that. We can't talk about real football because to talk about real football is no fun. Just like the mobile quarterback is so exciting, the pocket guy is boring. Talking real football is boring to y'all. Most people who talk football to me talk football from a fantasy football fan's perspective. And I just sit back and be quiet. The moment they open their mouth and go Pro Football Focus, I go, oh, okay, fantasy football, here we go. I saw this quote the other day, right? Because I think it's funny how people think. Tom Brady said one of the teams they were interested in him at the very end. I was thinking, you're sticking with that MFer? No, I'm good. Talking about the coaches and stuff like that. But then he had another quote where he says, and I quote, he says, there have been times that he has been asked questions in the media and he went on to do nothing but praise that guy. It says, from a strategic standpoint, I never want to give away what I'm doing. I usually say the opposite. If they say he's a shitty corner, I'll be like, that guy is unbelievable. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm going after that motherfucker all day. This is a mentality right here, people. This is a mentality. To have the attitude to always be playing the game 10 steps ahead of you. Let me build you up to break you down. That's what that's about. I'm going to build you up to break you down. But we're not going to talk about that. Real football is not real here. We don't want to talk about that. This is y'all time for questions. Any questions y'all have, put them in the chat. I'll answer them. We ain't going to talk about that. Everybody wants to act like Jared Goff is so hot garbage and he can't do this now all of a sudden because he became a Lion. That's the only reason why now he can't do nothing, because he's a Lion. If Jared Goff had been anything else, if Jared Goff would, I guarantee you, if Jared Goff would have went to the Vikings would be Super Bowl bound. I guarantee you that. If Jared Goff would have went to the Panthers, they'd be talking about they'd be a perennial playoff team. If Jared Goff went to the Cowboys, they're a Super Bowl team. But Jared Goff came to the Detroit Lions, and he's hot garbage, and he can't read defenses, and our fan base just eats it up. They just love it. I wish I can lie to y'all. I wish I can tell y'all that in real football conversations and things, this don't happen. But it's not true. It's not true. It's just not true. And I wish that it was. Listen to this. It says, who is the only quarterback since 1975 to produce a game with 20 plus attempts, fewer than 40 passing yards and 4 interceptions? Hint number 1, he did it in 2015. Hint number 2, he was 39 years old. Hint number 3, he's in the Hall of Fame. And if you guess Peyton Manning, you're right. He did this versus the Chiefs in November of 2015. Y'all, but we don't want to talk about that. That's not sexy. I'm just putting it out there. What are these questions at? Let me see. What are these questions at? Just putting it out there. In my opinion, what position is Detroit's strongest? What is Detroit's weakest? To me, the strongest position that they have is the position that I don't think that people really looking at, which I believe is the running back core. I think that's a strong group. It's easy to say the offensive line, but the running back core is strong. They can catch the backfield. They can run between the tackles, outside the tackles. I love it, right? But the weakest of the whole group is the safeties, and it continues to be the safeties because the safeties is the position that I know for a fact we need to upgrade. Once you go Tracy Walker, then who? You want to tell me Marlo Dean is the answer? You feeling good about Will Harris? I'm just asking. So when you start to go through the list, the weakest position on our team still remains the safety. Media not talking about it, but that's the reality. At least at linebacker, I know who my linebackers are. The D-line, I know who they are. My cornerbacks, I know who they are. Help me understand who the safeties are. It says, I do not believe Stafford would finish this season. Teams will be under 500 when he Teflon's out. Well, their line is not as good as it used to be, and I don't know if Cam Akers is the answer at running back, but some people believe he is. I'm not buying it. But we'll see. I mean, it's all going to be boiled down to coaching. If they have him doing the same thing Detroit did, you're right. He may not make it. If they don't, then he'll be successful. Let me see. It says, so you're saying that a team that were aggressive for a quarterback, that means the coach is on the hot seat? I'm saying that he's on the hot seat. So you got to go through and look at it. There was always conflict and contention with him, and he never had a chance to pick his quarterback. Now he has an opportunity to pick his quarterback. He chose this one because if he's going to go down fighting, he's going to go down with it. You got to keep in mind, they haven't been keeping first-round picks for anything, so that don't matter. But the fact that you moved on from Jared Goff, you need Stafford to be miles and leaps and miles above what Goff was. And if he's not, he's fired. Because not only did I lose draft capital, I lost my damn quarterback because you was trying to prove something with your ego. So he got to do it. Dean and Harris are beasts, Luke, two animals. Okay. I can't argue with you. I don't think nobody looked good in Matt Patricia's system. I think Romeo just performed because he got an opportunity to play. That's what I think. Jack, wait, what was that year Stafford had 5,040 plus touchdowns and under 15 picks? 2011. Also, so is Stafford's famous comeback win stats. That's a team stat, but y'all quick to give Stafford credit for that. Let me see. Well, let me have a little fun with it then. Why the hell not? We here, right? What else are we here for? Team stats. This quarterback has 27 game-winning drives, while this other quarterback has 25 career game-winning drives. Do you want to know who these two players are? The 27 game-winning drives is Andy Dalton. The 25 game-winning drives is Aaron Rodgers. I don't hear nobody telling Aaron Rodgers that that's a team stat. Just saying. I don't hear that. Not saying you're wrong. Just saying let's talk about it. Why is it always these different rules for different people? Let me see. With no run game. Okay. At what point do we unload the injured dead A and B? I think it's happening now. Especially once they start doing the roster cut. Once we start cutting the roster down to that final like 53 or 55, whatever it's supposed to be, I forgot. But once they start cutting the roster down, then you're going to see them adding more player and out with the dead meat. It is what it is. I mean, they started it with Kerryon. You ain't available, we moving on. And mind you, that was after they sang his praise. They sang a lot of people praise who got cut and released for cap reasons and for other reasons that we may never know. But they've been doing it. Then what the 49ers and the Bears trade up for quarterbacks for? Because they head coaches are on the hot seat. They need, and the franchises, especially for the Bears, the franchise for the Bears and the 49ers desperately wanted to get their next quarterback. So they decided we're going to take our shot now. But you notice that neither one of those two are starting week 1. And I don't think neither of them two will start week 1. Trey Lance won't be ready week 1. And Jalen Fields, or not Jalen Fields, Justin Fields won't be ready week 1 neither for the Bears. Yet they traded up future draft capital plus this year's draft capital to take them. And do what? Sit them? Them head coaches may not even be here. Shout out to my man Arthur Williams. Say, get them likes up, y'all. Let's do it. Make sure I ain't forgetting nothing. If Campbell is garbage, why did Aaron Glenn, Deuce Staley, and the myth and legend Don Capers join our organization? Don't forget Anthony Lynn. Don't forget him. Don't forget Arbery Pleasant. Don't forget they were stealing coaches. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget them. It's a good point. Six wins in 13 years against teams with 500 records. Oh, they still having this debate about Stafford. I'm not with that. Oh, John Dorsey to the list too. It's a good point. I think it's a valid point that's hard to look at. Don Capers stupid. Autocorrect. I know what you were saying. Aaron Glenn and Deuce Staley had better offers elsewhere. Yep, but they understood something. Here, there was something different. Here's where you could become legend. Here, there's no high expectation. If you don't succeed here, nobody's gonna kill you for that. It's a breath of fresh air to have the underachiever Pat Stafford out of here. Okay. I hope that we get the quarterback play that you expect. I'm a Stafford fan. I've watched the Detroit Lions blame before Stafford 17 quarterbacks and say it was their fault. 17 quarterbacks. It's their fault. Now we on quarterback 19 and he ain't took a damn snap on the team. It's his fault too. That should show you what this history is with this team. And then what we're not going to do is if they start having success under Goff, we're not going to look at the whole picture. We're just going to say it's the quarterback. This is a mentality that has been pushed from media to people all across the world. When I got Tim Tebow's and Mark Sanchez is winning games, Matt Leiner's winning games, Blake Bortles winning games. I'm just saying. Do you believe that we have a good coaching staff this year? I do. The only reason I believe that is because they at least know how to talk to the human being. That's the part that you need to have whenever you're leading somebody. Even in the military, there's a healthy line of respect when giving orders. That if the person, you can give an order, right? But it's so different when you give an order and you know the person doing it not because you was an order, because it's you. And they respect you like a mud. So that's the difference. How many of our coaches do you think we'll lose after this year? If they win, if they go to a playoff game, we losing about 2 of them. They make it to a playoff game, man. Anthony Lynn might be gone. Stanley might be gone. I mean, I'm just telling you right now. Don Capers, man. What's the offensive line guy? Farley, whatever his name is, he could be gone. I'm just telling you, they win and get to a playoff game, man, we losing people. And that's something that we haven't had happen in years. Lamar Jackson is the GOAT. Of what? The GOAT. The greatest of all time. Of what? Y'all better stop playing with me. Let's see. Luke, what's a game this season that you think the running game will take over for us? Week 1 against the 49ers. I expect for y'all to just get real comfortable with that show. It's going to be a whole lot of turnaround and handoff. And there's nothing they can do to stop it. In fact, if you go through and you look at the 49ers defense over the last couple of years, you will find that running the ball at them is their weakness. It's their kryptonite. That's one game. Another game where I can see the run game being a problem for people, if healthy, is It's the Browns. Because they're known for running. So if we can shut their run down and we run, they in trouble. Baker Mayfield ain't finna do nothing. Let's see. Now we got people bringing up race when talking about players. That's ridiculous. I told you I don't engage in stupid stuff. No, I just don't. It says I'm limited in characters to every coach on our staff who had better offers elsewhere. Yeah. Yet they came here. Let's see what else we got over here. You know what, Luke? Goat Lamar. Okay, well, you know, I told y'all, they go that Madden fantasy football to talk right there. Let me see this. So if we lose the coaches, do you believe Campbell can replace them? Yes. I do believe they can replace them, and I think it makes sense. Psycho Lion fan says, Luke, what do you think of Scott Mitchell on Breaking Bread saying the organization broke the team up too soon? I believe they did. Well, I agree that the team was broken up too soon. It wasn't the first time they've done it. But I don't respect Scott Mitchell. I can't stand Scott Mitchell. And it's personal for me. When I was a kid, when I'm a teenager, really. I was probably a teenager. So I ended up meeting him this one time, right? And when I met him, I was like, hey, you're Scott Mitchell. And he was like, yeah. Okay. I said, hey, can I have your autograph? He said, nah, beat it. I said, okay. So I still didn't say nothing. I'm still like, it's Scott Mitchell, right? He goes, another kid walks up to him, and the kid say, you're Scott Mitchell. And his whole attitude was different. And he goes, yeah, I am, man. How you doing? And the kid goes, can I have an autograph? And he said, yeah. And to this day, I don't know why he told me no and told the other kid, yeah. Two kids in the same place, same time, asked for the same thing, and neither of us got respect. So I don't respect him, because at that point, I had to roast his ass, and I told him about how he sucked as a quarterback, and how the fact that me asking for his autograph should have been the highlight of his career, because nothing else will be. And I was right. So just FYI, I can't stand him, but he's right. We did break the team up a little bit too early, and ain't the first time that's happened. Players and coaches throughout the league would be begging to coach and play here next year. I told people when he said that call out, people missed it. You had George Kittle talking about it. And it wasn't just George Kittle. A lot of people was talking about looking over there and saying, man, I like what they doing. Like, that's just the real. It says, I remember when people were worried that we might hire Adam Gase as offensive coordinator when Campbell was hired. Fans worry about a lot of stuff we shouldn't need to. The Lions should have kept Kramer or Pete instead of signing Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell had that one. I don't even think it was no full season. I think it was a partial season with the Dolphins, and they went nuts and paid him. Tom Brady can't be the GOAT because he only plays on one side of the ball. I saw this on Twitter, and it really got me to thinking. I mean, football is hard. If you want to say he's the GOAT at quarterback, then that's one thing. I don't know. But to say he's the GOAT in football, that's just, I never, because to me, I like some defensive players better. So, I've always told my airmen that I'm not asking them to do anything I'm not willing to do. Leadership reflects attitude. And the fact that you did that, and I'm not even a part of your squad. I'm not sure because I'm not in the military, but I know how some things in the military works. I was close to joining the military, and then I kind of opened my big mouth and told them about my flat feet. They made a whole big issue about it. I was like, okay. But anyway, when I have somebody who's willing to tell me, just willing to tell me that they're not asking me to do anything they wouldn't do, I'm willing to go with you and do it with you. Well, I said George Kittle. Ain't that what I said? I didn't say cattle. I said George Kittle. Y'all be on my head. Y'all be on my head. Let's see what we got here. Start trade. Cut Buckets. I don't think you spelled that dude's name right. What? Niski? Willie Liner. I don't think you did that right. Niski. Is that name? Who are you trying to say? It'll come to me. I don't know who you're trying to say right there, buddy. I'm sorry. I know who two of the guys is, but that middle one, I'm not sure. Bullshit. Tom Brady is the best defensive player of all time. Always come back to the media. I hope our coordinators are getting looked at for head coaching jobs because that means we're winning games. 100%. We haven't had. Just think about this, y'all. Fun trivia question. I'm with it. Fun trivia question. Can you tell me the last head coach that the Lions had who was fired from here and became a head coach somewhere else? I'll wait. Look, how many points per game would you like our offense to average this season? 28. I remember Scott Mitchell mocked the coach that said it all to me. Yeah, that dude's a douche. He wasn't a good person when I met him. You said cattle. Did I? Ray Niski. Oh, man, that's a hard one. Really liar. See. Buckets. Oh, this is hard. This one hard. I like them all. I gotta keep Buckets. Like, he gotta start. And if I'm trading, probably Liner. And this is hard. Damn it. I'm going to probably say I'm going to cut Liner and trade Niski. Oh, my God. It's just, you suck for this. It's hard. What up, though? Go Lions. It's hard, bro. It is. Let me see. Every time Brady stepped on the field, his defense was top 10. I mean, top 5. Yeah, people act like Brady did just everything by himself, but whatever. What do you think that our percentage of chance of making the playoff this year is? About 65%. Because if you look at it, the fact that they added that extra playoff team, on top of the fact that I look at our schedule, I think we will benefit from a lot of those earlier games than most people think. So I think it's about a 60 to 65% chance that we can make the playoffs. I feel pretty good about it. I see you at the right spelling, but when he first did it, I was like, you didn't spell that right. That can't be right. Because I couldn't picture in my head who he was talking about. Bill Belichick. Yes, I finally stumped Luke. Hey. Listen, I have a thing for people that for bad guys. To me, Buckets, Ray, those were bad guys. Now, Liner, I'm not saying he wasn't a bad guy, but them two, they just didn't care. They would give you their lung for the win, and I respected that. So, what up? I can't believe I was able to catch this show live. Yeah, man. I started later than usual. My job keep holding me up. Says Predator Kingdom, our chances increase as long as Rodgers doesn't return to Green Bay this season. Rodgers can play. It's not gonna make a difference. Rodgers 9 times out of 10 just be complaining about nothing. But the reason that you're gonna gotta worry about Rodgers because Rodgers is gonna make sure that he looks good. Why do you think he led the league in throwaways one season? So it just is what it is. Lawrence Taylor. I love me some Lawrence Taylor, but he was on crack. I'm gonna tell the truth. Start, trade, or cut. Ray Lewis, Urlacher, Patrick Willis. So this is easy. Start Ray Lewis. I'm probably going to trade Urlacher and I'll cut Willis, unfortunately. But to me, as much as I like Willis, I like the Willis a little bit better than Urlacher. What Urlacher did to me was just as aggressive as Ray Lewis, and so I respect that. Let me see. This year is the 50th anniversary of Chuck Hughes' death from Dick Buckets, and it's on October 24th when we played Stafford. Interesting. I didn't know that. All right, let me see. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. Make sure I ain't missing nothing. All right, I don't think I missed nothing. All right, let's get it. People, you know me, can't end the show without a positive word. And the positive words are everything to me because I think that we should have a way to lift people. Today's positive word going to come real hard today because I think there's a certain level that needs to be addressed here. To all of the people who came in the chat, thank you and salute you. To all the people who commented, thank you so much. So 100% want to appreciate that. Let me go through and see just really quick. Make sure I ain't messing nothing up. All right. Make sure I ain't messing nothing up. Today's positive quote comes from the internet. I have no clue who said this, but when I heard it, it hit home. Stop making mistakes a lifetime. I'm going to say it again. Stop making mistakes a lifetime. See, this is where it's going to get real interesting. We human, and the only way a human is shown to be human is to be flawed. We are going to make mistakes. You are going to make mistakes. Hell, I make mistakes all the damn time. You just heard it here on the show today, okay? And when you are making these mistakes, which you cannot do, is somehow turn that mistake into a lifetime. That is not your objective. That is not your goal. That is not your reason or your purpose for living. The mistake is there to teach you a lesson. That is your job. Learn from that lesson. Get to a point where you can understand that that mistake is not the defining moment of your life. It is just a moment in your life. Stop making it a lifetime. So what? You didn't get that job, or maybe you did the love of your life wrong. Who cares? There's a chance for you to reset, adjust, and learn from it. Not make it a lifetime choice. Maybe you made a decision that took the life of somebody else. And yes, that's a sad thing to have. But what defines you is not the moment. It's what you do after the moment that defines you. There have been boxers who have been knocked down. Basketball players who have been dunked on. Hell, even Jordan was crossed up by a young Allen Iverson. The response to the trauma is what defines you in that moment. It's what makes you special. It's what changes the outcome. Stop making it a lifetime. Stop taking that moment and holding on to it for a lifetime. It was never meant for you to hold on. Treat it like the wind. You can grab it for so long, but at some point you got to let it go. Because that was not meant for you. If you cannot make a mistake and move forward, then you're not living. You're not contributing to the betterment of you. There are some things in life that can be a lifetime, but mistakes can never be one. They can never be one. People, with that being said, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for hitting that like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you for still showing up, even though I've been kind of missing for the last 2 days. But hey, it's how I pay the bills. I don't make no money on this, and I'm not really trying to. Just want to talk football. And so, you know, I gotta do what the job tells me. But please make sure you join me tomorrow. I have my fingers crossed that I do not get any extra work. Fingers are crossed. I'm knocking on wood, glass, pipes, and anything else you can think of. Okay. Also, coming up, we will have some collaborations this week. So I want you to get ready for that. Also, shout out to my man RachelMarieSports. The young man is graduated and will be heading off to college. So congratulations to you. So proud of all the hard work that you put into to being the best version of you. And the best part of it is this: you haven't even touched the surface or the ceiling yet. The sky ain't a ceiling. Shout out to fellow DSA member Andrew, who just got engaged. You know, that's an awesome thing for that. Shout out to you. Kudos. Congratulations there. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody else congratulatories. But if I did, I'm sorry. Please remind me. I'll do it the next time around. As always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. I am out.